Hi everyone, it's Neo. Time for another video. I felt compelled to record this video in regards to the recent news about Jon and Kate getting divorced. My wife and I do watch the show. We were actually fans of the documentary that TLC had recorded a long time ago when the infants, the sextuplets were born. And we were really excited when TLC decided to do an actual television series. What's been really disturbing my wife and I, and even me, is the way the media has been dragging this family through the mud. Now, obviously, none of us live with this family, so we don't necessarily know what is really happening besides what we're reading in newspapers, magazines, and what we're seeing on television. All we can really do is speculate on what is exactly going on. If you've been paying attention to any of the news regarding Jon and Kate, the first thing that showed up in the media is information regarding Jon's alleged affair with a 23-year-old school teacher. When he was confronted with this information, he claimed that it was just a friend and nothing more. He supposedly came out of a local bar not too far from where he lives with her under his arm, and they hopped into his sports car and they took off. Recently on an A&E special, the 23-year-old's brothers came forward and claimed that they were having sexual affairs together, and he claims he was home studying for a college course, and the noise that they made in her bedroom was so loud he couldn't concentrate. But in my opinion, and of course this is my opinion, and I'm making an assumption here, is that reporters, the media approached him, so as far as we know, he could have been paid a lump sum, a handsome sum, to come forward. So who's to say if any of what he says is true? But what really upsets me is what's going to happen to these children once this divorce happens. Because unlike the rest of us, this divorce is being recorded. And there will be a permanent record of this divorce forever. And not only that, their private life is being paraded through every living room across America and wherever else this cable television show is being aired. And I'm not a big fan of Kate, primarily because of the way she has treated Jon on camera. I don't understand why she would sit there and ridicule him and call him names on national television. I think it speaks for itself, the type of person she is. And obviously, not being there myself, but I don't believe that Jon is completely at fault for this divorce. I believe they're both to blame. Neither of them are really working very hard at trying to reconcile this. But being ridiculed by your wife is bad, for one thing. But having it done to you on national television is a really bad thing. And I would imagine that may be part of Jon's decision about leaving her. And another thing that really irks me, and I should say, well, perplexes me, is that recently Kate made a statement that her marriage with Jon has been on the rocks for quite some time. And she also made the statement that she wishes things were different. Well, and I know Kate probably won't see this video, and even if she did, chances are she wouldn't give a damn to respond. But if she knew her marriage was on the rocks for that length of time, then why did she spend so much time on the road promoting her books and spending so much time with her bodyguard? I wonder. Now, she uses the excuse, and I call it an excuse because, again, I'm making an assumption, that she's doing it for her children. Well, that's fine. But what about the entire family? I mean, Jon is a member of the family. I mean, he did help you make those kids. I'm not saying Jon's an angel. I'm not defending him. But the fact that you've already showed the world that you mistreat him, you've also showed by not being there for him when your marriage was already on the rocks, that you really didn't give a damn. You're more interested in taking care of your finances and making sure that the television show continues. When the show first started, it was about Jon working, you working as a nurse, cutting coupons from magazines and newspapers. The show was about real life. That's why the show was so attractive to everyone, because it really was a true depiction of everyday American family life, trying to survive. And now the show is about glamour. I mean, Kate runs around with this fancy, diva-like hairdo and those high heels, and she has this. No, I mean, she had an attitude before, but now she's diva supreme. It's ridiculous, and she treats her kids, like they're possessions. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can see it in the newer episodes. She has become an absolute witch. And Jon, too, he's become very disconnected. You can tell he's angered and he's upset. And, if it's true about Kate with her bodyguard, having an affair, information did emerge stating that her affair with her bodyguard did happen before Jon's affair with this 23-year-old teacher. Now, this is where I believe they're both at fault, because if it really did happen, then obviously Jon's train of thought was, well, screw her, I'm not getting any at home, and she's, treating me like garbage and humiliating me on national TV, so I think it's about time I did something for myself. Because let's face it, Jon's been pussy whipped pretty badly. We all see it when we watch the show. I mean, he's stay-at-home dad. He's always there. I can't blame the guy for wanting to go out to a bar. Should he have seen that woman? And if he did have a physical relationship with her, shame on you too, Jon. Shame on you. Neither of you are in the right here. Two wrongs don't make a right. Either way. That A&E special that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it was stated by Aunt Judy, because they did interview her, that Jon did suspect in the beginning that Kate was fooling around with her bodyguard. And then it led up to his so-called relationship with this 23-year-old teacher. So now if you visit the TLC.com forums, they have this blog for Kate where people can leave words of encouragement. Now, of course, the forum is moderated, so you can't go on there and blast Kate because you're not going to get your message posted. But I've noticed that TLC is allowing negative posting, as long as you're not swearing, as long as the message isn't degrading. And, it's a great way for you to voice your opinion. And just visit TLC.com and do a search for Jon and Kate divorce, or Jon and Kate gets divorced, and it'll take you right to the blog. You can do an RSS subscribe feed, and you can keep up to date with all the comments and the story if you're interested. But I just thought I would throw this out there, because being a fan of the show and also loving the kids, my wife and I both hope and pray that these children lives don't end up destroyed. They're already on the path of destruction because of Kate's greediness, selfishness, and, Jon's inability to act like a man. They're both at fault. So, as far as I'm concerned. So, but anyways, digest what I said. If you want to comment, berate me, beat me, yell at me, whatever. So, anyways, this is Neo. Peace out, people.